Good morning, class. We are going to do our lesson today in 3 parts due to YouTube won't upload videos that are too long. So we're going to jump right in with King Wencelas. If you were not in class last week and did not get your packet of notebooking pages, I want you to pause the video right now and get out notebook paper so that you can go ahead and keep up with the class, and you can just write the title of each lesson and the year on notebook paper. Because I'm at home and I just have a small whiteboard, I'm going to be holding it up periodically to show you some notes about King Wencelas. Also, I would like you to click on a second YouTube video, which is a recording of the King Wencelas song, which kind of goes over one of the stories of the good deeds that he did while he was king. Okay, so let's get started. I'm starting with a chart that you can find on page 273 that looks like a family tree. Let's see if I can get it all there. Okay. This is the blanks filled in from the chart that's shown on page 273, and it goes back to Methodius and Cyril. I hope you remember them. They were the missionaries to the Slavs that helped create the Cyrillic language. Well, while they were there, they actually led to Christ a princess named Ludmilla, who was married to the Prince of Czechoslovakia. That looks like the Prince of G-E-C-H, but it's actually an abbreviation for Czechoslovakia, C-Z-E-C-H. Well, the Prince of Czechoslovakia and Ludmilla had a son who became the Duke of Burgundy, who married a pagan woman. That means she was not a Christian, and her name was Drahomira. They had 2 children, Wencelas and Boleslav. Okay, let's move this up. Here's the rest of your notes. At age 13, King Wencelas's father, the Duke of Burgundy, died in battle. And so instead of just staying to live with his mother, he was sent to live with his grandparents, Ludmilla and the Prince of Czechoslovakia. Okay, while they were there, Ludmilla took upon the task of teaching him about salvation, and she led him to the Lord. Well, Drahomira, if you recall, I told you she was a pagan. When she got word of this, she really was not happy that her son was being trained in a different religious faith. So she arranged to have Ludmilla strangled. So after Ludmilla was killed, King Wencelas, who was not a king at the time, was brought back to live with his mother, Drahomira, and his brother, Boleslav. But Wencelas did not give up the fact that he had converted to Christianity. Well, soon his mother was found guilty of the murder, and she was exiled from the kingdom. And when that happened, Wencelas became the duke or the king of that area. And so when he did that, he began a long list of some really good Christian works that he did for the people throughout the kingdom. But his first one was to forgive his mother and go and take her out of exile and let her move back into the castle. Now there's a second video that talks about one night in particular that King Wencelas helped a poor person who was out in the cold, who needed shoes, clothing, and food. So you can watch that. It's just a song that's become a popular Christmas carol. But he did a lot of other good things for his kingdom. There were schools and libraries built. But all this time his brother, Boleslav, remained jealous of him and hated the fact that he had become a Christian. So he set up a plan to trick Wencelas into coming to a big feast, and Wencelas had an idea that it might be a trap, but he decided to go to the feast anyway, and while he was there, he was struck down by his brother's sword. Now, before Wencelas died, he did forgive his brother and went to his grave without bearing any bitterness for what his mother and brother had done. So King Wencelas died in the year 929. So I'm going to have you go ahead. You can pause it, rewind it, but you can go ahead, if you have the sheet, fill in that information, including the chart that starts with Cyril and Methodius, and go ahead and put the notes on this so that when we turn in our second group of papers, you will be all caught up. So that's the end of our first video.